Good evening, and we will begin again. I'd like to welcome all of you here and all of our candidates who are running for City Council seats in Districts 2, which is Uptown, Whittier, along Beverly, over by Palm Park, Hadley Heights, and down to Whittier College, approximately. Okay. And the candidates for District 4, which runs kind of between Painter and California, south of the boulevard, and then it tapers up to Mar Vista, above Whittier Boulevard. So it's to Penn Street. Whoa, that's further than I thought. So these two areas are each electing one candidate. All voters in the city of Whittier will be receiving their vote by mail ballot starting March 16th, possibly a little bit earlier. You have the opportunity to vote your vote by mail ballot at home and deliver it to a drop box. And the drop boxes are at the Church of Greenleaf, which is Greenleaf and Lambert, the Greenleaf Galleria up on near Ramos, and the park garage, the Whittwood Branch Library, and Penn Park. That's where our drop boxes are. You can also mail your ballot, but I would suggest that you mail it a week ahead, just to make sure it arrives on time. If it goes in a drop box, it gets picked up daily, so it will arrive on time as long as it's dropped in on election day or earlier. The other alternative is to go to a polling place, a vote center in the city of Whittier. There are 4 vote centers: York Field, Palm Park, the Whittwood Branch Library, and Michigan Park in the new building. And those facilities will be open April 11th through April 14th. So you can go in person, mark your ballot, and it will be securely deposited at that location and returned to City Hall for counting. Okay, I would like to review the rules. I think the audience behaved quite nicely during the first half, and I anticipate that you remember those rules and that you will abide by those rules during this forum also. Written questions submitted to our ushers. If you have a written question, hold the card up and they will come pick it up. If you need a card, you can hold your hand up and someone will bring you a card and a pen. The questions need to be relevant to city governance. They need to be polite and civil, and they need to be clear so that we can understand what you're asking. Now, we will move on to opening statements by our candidates who are running for these 2 council districts. And I'll remind the candidates that we really have to just about eat the mic. And I'm thanking the staff here who have upped the volume on the speakers also. Each candidate will have 1 minute for opening remarks, and they are to address the question, why are you running, and what you think the most pertinent issues are in the city of Whittier. Then we will have panel questions from our panelists who are at the far end of the table. And then we will have audience questions, and our question sorters are here, and they are looking for clarity, they are looking for pertinence, they are looking for civility. They may be combining questions. If we get 10 on the same topic, it may get turned into 2 or 3. And they have to be able to read them too. So I'd like to thank all of you again for being here, and all of you candidates for sticking your necks out and vying to serve your community. And we drew for order of speaking. I am going to begin with the people on my far, far right. So we'll actually begin with District 2, and the first candidate this evening who will be giving his opening remarks is Rolando Cano. 1 minute.
Okay, guys, so my name is Rolando Cano. Many of you may remember me from running for the mayoral seat, but a lot has been happening within the last year. I put a lot of thought into what my next step was going to be, and it was to run for District 2 to protect my home, to protect my community. What we've seen from our city and what we see what's happening around us, we lack protections. Every day I get out there, I patrol our city with many people in the community. We're the only ones that are actively out there. And I ask for your vote because we've got to do more in our community. We have an opportunity to save the tree, which is something that I'm dedicated to do, and to protect our city by implementing a system where we actually alert the public as to ICE presence. We make sure that we secure our schools in District 2, which is the highest concentration of schools. So we got to do more, not less. So I ask for your vote on April 14th. Rolando Cano.
Thank you. Next, we will hear from Ramos.
Good evening. Thank you to the League of Independent Voters for hosting tonight's forum and everyone here for participating in our local democracy. My name is Ramos. I'm running for City Council in District 2. I am a lifelong Whittier resident, a husband, a father, and also son of an immigrant father and a mother who was born and raised in East Los Angeles. From my parents, I learned the values of hard work, responsibility, and great respect for my community. Values that continue to guide my public service. I am also a retired public servant, serving in law enforcement capacity with integrity. That experience reinforced the importance of fairness, accountability, and service to others. My priorities include public safety, emergency preparedness, strengthening small businesses. I believe local government works best when its leaders listen first and make transparent decisions, and deliver practical solutions that keeps Whittier safe, resilient, and moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. The next candidate we will hear from this evening is Octavio Martinez.
Good evening, everybody. I am your current Mayor Pro Tem, Octavio Cesar Martinez. I too, like the other candidates have said earlier, and will probably say the rest of this evening, the public safety is the bedrock of every community. If the city isn't safe, nothing else will work. As a former chaplain of the LA County Sheriff's and Whittier PD, I saw firsthand how important it is for a city to be not only be safe, but feel safe. I am the only candidate up here that has been endorsed by the Whittier Police Officers Association, and I've been endorsed by the LA County Firefighters Union. I'm asking for your support to continue the work that I've been doing in keeping the city safe, bringing investments, and improving the local economy. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we will hear from Brian Ahern.
Thank you. My name is Brian Ahern. I've been living in Whittier for going on 20 years now. A little about me is I have many faults and failings behind me. My biggest fault being I'm gullible. I take a person as being honest and believable from the start.
I can't hear you.
That is until they have proven to me that they are not. Coming up in this debate, we begin a short time to answer some serious questions. Be reserved with warm and honest answers. I will not be giving them as my scope of information may not cover these. I will do my best when time allows. Now, as to the reason I'm running for this position, someone should be representing the average citizen, trying to make it paycheck to paycheck. We need someone to speak up and say enough, let's add a fee, raise the rate, add more tax. I am not that man, but maybe I can speak for him. Now, my full Christian name is Brian William Patrick Ahern. Thank you.
in District 2, we will hear from Vicky Santana.
Good evening, Whittier, and thank you to the League of Women Voters and to everyone taking the time to be part of our conversation tonight. I'm running for District 2 because this is where I built my life and I raised my son, and I want to continue to serve our city. As a Rio Hondo College trustee and in my professional life, I've navigated complex problems, hiring decisions, managing risk and litigation, and helping keep both the public and employees safe in sensitive situations, all with real-world consequences. Talking with residents, I've been surprised how often basic municipal concerns aren't addressed quickly, whether it's trees and public spaces, election timing, or traffic and speeding on our streets. Whittier has the potential to be a regional leader, but leadership starts with getting the basics right for residents every day. I'm running to bring steady leadership that listens, follows through, and solves problems so residents know their city works with them, not around them. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we will hear from our three candidates in District 4. Beginning with Phil Longoria.
Good evening. I want to thank the League of Women Voters for putting on this event and all the residents who came out tonight to see us. My name is Phil Longoria, and I'm running for City Council District 4. I've been a proud resident of this community for almost 20 years and actively involved in nonprofit volunteering for the past 17. Serving and strengthening the place we call home has been a consistent part of my life, and I want a better future for all Whittier residents. To me, this is not about left or right, red or blue. It's about community, safer streets, protecting our neighborhoods, supporting local businesses, improving communication, and ensuring residents feel heard. We may not always agree, but respectful dialogue and collaboration are what move us forward. Together, as one community and one voice, we can strengthen our neighborhoods, support our local economy, enhance public safety, and build a future that reflects our shared values. I would like your vote as early as you can, starting in March, if not on April 14th. Thank you.
Next, we will hear from Aida Macedo.
Hi everyone, good evening. My name is Aida Macedo, candidate for District 4. I'm a business owner here in Uptown. I'm an attorney by training, and I'm very excited to be here today to talk to you about my candidacy. My top 3 issues are community safety, smart growth, which means looking at the future of Whittier and how we're going to develop as a city in line with what residents want, and most importantly, government, representative government and government transparency. We need to have a council that is responsive to our needs. We need a council that answers the call when we call for issues. Everyday issues, every constituent issue is important. And so I hope to bring my experience as an attorney, as an advocate, as a parent in the city, as a wife, and bring that complexity to you to serve you on this council. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you to the League of Women's and Margot for the work that you do as well. You guys do a great job. So I'm Fernando Dutra, and I'm running for District 4 as well. I'm proud to have served the city for 26 years. First, as 6 years as a design review board member, 6 years as a planning commissioner, and then, of course, the last 14 years as your city council member. City of Whittier is a great city. I'm proud to be part of a team that has approved additional park space, approved the expansion of some of our libraries, as well as the expansion of our police force. This is a great city to live in. I'm still proud to live in it. I'm an immigrant. I moved to the United States when I was 10 years old, didn't speak any English. I understand the immigrant issues. I'm also a developer and a builder. And because of my background, I think I've been able to help the city navigate through some difficult projects that have been built in the city of Whittier, including the Groves as well. I was planning commissioner, actually chairman, when we approved the Groves, and I'm still proud of that project, and I hope to continue to be your city council member. Thank you.
Thank you. Then, now we will go to the panel questions, and Pat Dudley, would you ask the first one? And for these questions, I will start with Council District 4, going saying Board of Revamp, and then go back to Council District 2 and work our way through. The United States House of Representatives just passed the Save America Act, which would disenfranchise an estimated 69 million women whose birth certificates don't match their current legal name through the marriage and divorce. These documentation barriers disproportionately harm women, especially women of color who face higher poverty rates and can least afford the cost of obtaining a passport or navigating complex bureaucratic requirements. But the silence of women isn't only happening in Washington. While the Brown Act mandates maximum transparency and public access, the city of Whittier moved in the opposite direction, eliminating live stream broadcasting of public comment without a public vote or sufficient notice to residents. This policy disproportionately silences working mothers, caregivers, women with disabilities, and anyone who cannot physically attend an evening meeting. To our incumbent councilman, did you authorize this policy? If not, why did you allow it to stand without a public vote? If yes, how do you justify restricting public participation when state law demands the opposite? Applause takes time, and we have a lot of candidates. I'm going to start with Mr. Dutra, because he's the incumbent, and there is a parallel question for the contenders. So, Mr. Dutra.
Thank you, Margot, and it's a great question. You know, as the father of 2 daughters, I don't think I'm ever going to quiet anyone in my family. It's pretty difficult, very strong women in my family. But what I should say is, yes, I did absolutely endorse what we did, and I'll tell you why. It was embarrassing to sit up there as a city council member and hear some of the comments that were coming from the audience. It was embarrassing. I thought about, you know, maybe if a young man or a young lady that may have been sitting in that audience at home, watching TV, listening to some of the bad words that are coming out of these people's voices. So did we absolutely make a hard decision? We did. It was complicated. It was very, very difficult. We didn't make it in the vacuum, but we did it, and I do it again today because I was interested in making sure that we were quieting those people that were being disrespectful to not only the city council, but everybody inside the city council room and everybody at home as well. That's not the way to approach an open forum, and I'm not interested in being part of a system where people can just come up and yell and scream crazy and weird things. So thanks.
Next, we will hear from Octavio Martinez.
You know, this was not an easy decision to make. It seemed that there was, as Fernando just pointed out, the language and the behavior of the adults who were showing up. I found it difficult to believe that you would want your own children to behave that way in a public forum. The decision we made to cut the video and the audio feed didn't come easy, but it did seem to lower the temperature. Once folks realized they were no longer on TV, once folks realized they were no longer being seen in that respect, it seemed to turn down the temperature quite a bit. Of course, folks were still able to come to those meetings, as always, and make their public statements. They were also videotaped and could be seen later, but they were not broadcast, and we just didn't need any more grandstanding and clownish behavior and trying to get the people's business done.
Clownish behavior.
Thank you.
Allow
Excuse
people
me.
to go on stage and drop the hard
Excuse me. There is no audience comment.
R. Okay.
Thank you. The next speaker will be Pat Dudley, because she needs to give the question to the non-incumbents. As women face systemic exclusion from democratic participation, what concrete actions will you take to ensure women's voices in Whittier are not just heard, but valued and prioritized? For this question, we will begin with Mr. Longoria.
Thank you. If elected, the first thing I would want is to get everybody back on camera, to allow them to be seen, to allow them to be heard. Secondly, I do want to stand behind the council as they are here now because they do take public safety into concern, as I would. If there's ever a threat against any of the women there, I would be the first one to say we have to do everything possible to protect all of our citizens. But I would make sure that the women's voices are heard. I would stand by and make sure that everything, when people come in, we give them a voice, we give them the respect they deserve, and we make sure that everybody feels safe, heard, listened to, and viewed within our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Macedo.
First of all, I'd like to say that no one should be proud of silencing the public. As a public official, it is your job to listen to the public. And the fact that they allow someone there every single week to use the N-word and not silence them, to me, is very hypocritical. As an elected official, your job is to encourage participation, to reach out to constituents, to open the door, to have an open door policy. To me, it's unacceptable that we try to silence the public because the situation could have been handled differently through a meeting off-site, maybe a town hall, a mediator. There's so many solutions besides doing what the council did. I also want to state that women don't need men to give them a voice. Women have a voice. And we need a women's commission that is part of the city of Whittier. We need women to have a say. Thank you.
Now, we will hear from Ramos, and then we'll go to Mr. Ahern, Ms. Santana, and then with Mr. Cano.
Personally, I believe every person deserves to be treated fairly, with dignity and respect, no exceptions. What was done in the city council forum, to me, is absolutely wrong. Everybody's voice matters. There's also many solutions that we can do to change the way it's currently going right now with the comment section. Like I said, every voice matters. And there's a way to address how we do it so that everybody has an opportunity to speak their concerns.
Mr. Ahern,
Would you repeat the question?
can you repeat it, Doug?
Would you repeat the question, please?
As women face systemic exclusion from democratic participation, what concrete actions will you take to ensure women's voices in Whittier are not just heard, but valued and prioritized?
This is one of those questions I said I'm not informed on, although I am married. I've been married twice now, and I have a daughter. Women's rights have come a long way since I was a child. They've been listened to, and some haven't. Same with men. Now, as far as the council meeting goes, I stepped up in October and started opposing their silencing public. Also, they're regulating how we can speak, where we stand in line, the order we stand in line, and a cutoff time if you don't show up during a time. The Brown Act protects the people to speak, their public right to address the council. Our council is canceled.
Thank you. Next, we will hear from Ms. Santana.
The moment the council decided to stream the meetings, that included the public comment. Stopping it from being streamed is a violation of the Brown Act. And if council members feel that they don't want to be a part of it, then they shouldn't be elected officials. I was an elected official for 13 years, and I chaired meetings where the public wasn't happy. But you know what? We sat there and we took it because we respected our constituents. We respected the students that we represented because they helped us make policy better, because we were elected to represent not only them, but the members of the community. And I agree with Ms. Macedo, women don't need to be given the opportunity. We have rights to speak, and we will continue to exercise them, and if you elect me, I will be that voice. We also need a commission on the status of women in the city, so that it isn't a surprise where we need to invest more, because if that's a real question, then we're not in a good place in the city of Whittier, and that needs to change. Thank you.
Mr. Cano.
All right, let's actually address the question. Men create conflict. We create war. Historically, women said enough is enough, and they never asked for permission. They took their power. They took their right to vote. And I, for one, stand behind it because no one should tell a woman what to do. And us as men that create war should stand behind our women and push back and say, no damn way are you going to take this woman's rights away. We fight alongside women, but they have their own voice. So here we are celebrating women and understanding clearly their right is their own, not mine to decide. As far as the city council, when it comes to public comment, they're talking about people like myself that have taken every step and been ignored, that they turn off the cameras and they turn off the sound. That is not appropriate. That is thin skin. You have no room up there if you cannot handle it.
The next question will be addressed by Paula Sheridan.
Los Angeles County's Immigration Enforcement Vulnerability Index identifies Pico Rivera, our neighboring city, as one of the most economically vulnerable communities impacted by ICE raids. Research shows the 10 most vulnerable zip codes in LA County are primarily working-class immigrant neighborhoods, including areas adjacent to Whittier. And USC Equity Research Institute study found that enforcement actions have triggered significant economic impacts on small businesses and mixed-status households across the region. For incumbent council members, what specific actions did you take to communicate with and support with your residents during these operations? Was your response sufficient, and what would you do differently going forward?
Thank you. For this question, we will begin with Mr. Ahern, move to Ms. Santana, work all the way down to Mr. Dutra, go back to Mr. Cano, and end with Mr. Ramos.
Oh, it's for the incumbents.
Oh, incumbents first? Okay, then we'll do Mr. Martinez. Mr. Martinez first, and then Mr. Dutra.
Sure. Whittier has seen its fair share of ICE enforcement, and it's not been good. It looks very prevalent. And while we need to hold people who commit serious crimes accountable, we have witnessed activity that seems to come far beyond that. The scale and the impact of the enforcement actions have left families shaken and neighborhoods divided. It's pitting us against each other. It's almost like the worst of religious conversations, where if you don't say the right words at the right time, you're a heretic and you're cast out. I thought there's got to be a different way. So one of the things we did as a council, which we're proud of, is to provide money for food scarcity and those impacted by their wages, and also money for those who wish to pursue legal aid, to get their documents in order to be able to remain here safely and legally. And, I take this issue personally, because I, like many others here on this council, I am also the son of immigrants, and I remember my parents talking about those times when we were first here. I think maybe the stress that they went through accounted for the loss of my two sisters that my mother lost in miscarriage. So I take this seriously and personally. Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Mr. Dutra.
Sure, thank you, Margot. And as probably the only immigrant up here on stage, I take this very, very seriously as well. And so when we discuss these issues at the City Council, I was a supporter of us writing a resolution that supported the immigration issues that we were dealing with at the time. And we came up with resolution number 2025-38 that supported giving one of our local nonprofits $130,000 to help families dealing with some of the issues. And personally, I also contributed to that organization as well. I think that it's important that we take this very, very seriously. As a council member, I can look at any one of the immigrants in this city in the face and say that I think we did our best and that we're going to continue supporting them throughout the entire process.
Thank you. Now, will you read the question for the challengers, please? All candidates cite public safety as a top priority, but when immigration enforcement prevents residents from calling police, accessing services, or participating in civic life, are those residents safe? How do you define public safety for all Whittier residents? And what concrete steps will you take to protect our community's economic stability and family unity in the face of ongoing federal enforcement?
Okay. We will begin with Mr. Ahern, then go to Ms. Santana, Mr. Longoria, Ms. Macedo, and end with Mr. Cano.
Thank you. That's a very difficult question because everybody's taking the streets on us. Watch what happened. In 2016, President Trump was elected. They were asking for 5 million pass citizenship for the Marines. He approved. Then they jumped Pelosi and Schumer, Clinton number to 10 million. Again, he said we would make a path for that. He said he wanted help putting the wall. They told him no help and would not back any of your agenda. They have failed the American people and the immigrants. They are the ones that will not deal and make a path for it. I grew up in an immigrant area, and we had the legal rates back then. People come back. It's different now. President Trump has done a little math on this.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Santana.
Let me begin by saying that the city of Whittier did not do enough to ensure that our immigrant community and our overall community felt safe during the crisis. And this is not a past tense situation, it's continuing. The city of Puerto Rivera was targeted, but the difference that they made was that they didn't pretend that it wasn't happening to their residents. And they organized, and the council members met with the sheriff's department so that the sheriff's department did their part to ensure that the public was safe. Residents shouldn't be patrolling the streets to notify other residents that ICE is there. But we have a lot of heroes in this room who have done that, and I thank them for that. We should have said that the council should have made the decision not to allow ICE to have masks in the city of Whittier, but they didn't. Giving money for food is wonderful, but it's not enough. It doesn't address the safety issue. More needs to be done.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Macedo.
I think when you elect a city council, you look for leadership in time of crisis. The ice raids that happened this summer, I was personally affected because my mother was at the quad, who is here. My mom is an immigrant from Mexico. And ICE showed up and she was scared, even though she's a US citizen. That is unacceptable. That should not be happening. And when you look to leaders need to act swiftly to protect our residents. Public safety to me equals community safety. That includes ICE raids. It's not a matter of if this is happening again, it's when this is happening again. And what are we gonna do? This is no longer an immigration issue. This is a constitutional issue. As a lawyer, I believe in the Constitution and the civil rights of all residents in Whittier, and I will do everything in my power to protect our community from these raids. And we do have power. Don't let anyone tell you that we don't. Thank you.
Thank you. So let me just say this, and we've talked about this at length within our different groups. ICE is a federal agency, and to Ms. Macedo's point, they're going to be back. We know that. A lot of our residents, our neighbors, our families, our friends, some of the people here tonight will be drastically affected by ICE. But as a city council, and what we need to do as a city is work with the local churches, nonprofits, and organizations to have more outlets, information, and resources for these people. The people that we see getting torn apart, the families that are being, in many cases, terrorized by this, they're human beings. We need to be conscious of that. And again, I applaud the efforts of them throwing money at the situation, but we need to do more. We need to be conscious of who our neighbors are. We need to remember that they're all people. And I say that if I'm elected, one of the things we do is we have to get it out there. Because as a city council, we have no authority against the federal government, but we can definitely do something as a people and as a community. Thank you.
Finally, we'll hear from Mr. Cano.
Okay, guys, so first of all, I hate ICE. I need to get them out of here. I get up every morning and we patrol our streets. I work with 33 other cities. We work with 2 other states, and we follow data. We warn our vendors, our businesses. We've taken action. When I've gone up to city council to beg them to do more, they decided to approve an empty promise. They failed to provide protection. And the money that's offered, no one has access to. There is no process. What we do, what I've done is, I've done more than our current elected officials, and that is a shame. I'm just a resident like many of you here, but many of the people that come out and protect our city are sitting in this crowd, and I applaud you. It is us that take care of ourselves. The city's doing nothing, and that's why I'm fighting for District 2, because we're getting targeted. Enough is enough. I will do what it takes, calling an urgency order so that we can protect our city. We've got to do more.
Thank you. In order to cover a few more topics, I am going to Mr. Ramos, I'm sorry. Please take your turn.
Okay. So I just want to start by reminding the people in the audience that the Department of Homeland Security Enforcement shows their own data that significant number of arrests are non-serious and violent offenders. We've been lying from day one. They promised that they were going to go out for the worst of the worst violent offenders. What I've done, I have personally taken or reached out to our members of the undocumented community to educate them on civil rights and what to expect during an encounter, including when use of force is legally justified and when it's not. I come from a family of hundreds of immigrants. I come from a family of undocumented immigrants. I am their voice. I am their reasoning. Based on my experience in law enforcement, I can educate them and tell them how to keep themselves safe. And that's what I've done for the immigrant community.
Now I'm going to try something which we don't always do at Whittier forums, but it will give us a chance to ask a few extra questions. I will give a question to the first candidate whom I name, then I will give a second question to the second candidate I name, and the third candidate can choose which one of those 2 questions they would like to answer. Then we'll start again. So instead of everybody answering the same question, all 8 people will get several more questions answered, and you can choose one if it hasn't been directed to you previously. Okay, so now the trick is figuring out where to start. Okay. I'm going to start at the beginning again. So Mr. Cano, and then we'll go to Mr. Martinez, no, to Mr. Ramos. Then Mr. Martinez will get to answer one of the first 2 questions. Then I'll give new questions to Mr. Ahern and Ms. Santana, and then Mr. Longoria can choose which question to answer. So we hope it'll work out. Okay, the first question to Mr. Cano. Since June 2025, ICE raids in Whittier have affected our entire community regardless of citizenship status. They have left families broken and businesses struggling. What will you do to prevent further racial profiling and protect our civic freedoms? How will you support struggling businesses when potential customers are afraid?
Okay, so first you gotta acknowledge that this is happening. This is not what our friend council does. They ignore the fact. How can a business trust its leaders when nothing's being done? When the cameras are turned off and you're silenced? Our current city council has not built the confidence between its businesses. It's busy driving businesses out and ensuring that developments come in. But we gotta do more. I myself with a group of people here, we communicate with businesses. We assure them that we show up. When they see ICE, we show up. We give them a heads up and we make sure that they're protected. They're able to function. They're able to continue their operations because they trust the community. We need leaders that can be trusted. I'm one of these people that's on the street every day, and I communicate with many different businesses. We communicate with many vendors. But the bottom line is, they reach out to the community, not our leadership. That is a big shame and a lost opportunity. We gotta do more. I'm running because we need to do more.
Thank you. Next, I will give a new question to Mr. Ramos. And this question is, the priorities of a city are reflected in the visual conditions of the community. What would you do about dark streets, dirty and broken sidewalks, and littered vacant lots, which impact the district you will represent, to better improve its attractiveness and safety?
Infrastructure is one of the most basic responsibilities of our civic government. Our roads, sidewalks, and traffic signals, water lines, and storm drains are need to be maintained regularly, not ignored until they fail. At the city council, we use clear data to fix the worst streets and the most unsafe sidewalks first. Preventative maintenance is far more cost effective than waiting for infrastructure to deteriorate completely. We can also pursue state and federal grants to bring additional funding into Whittier, require developers to address traffic and infrastructure impacts to new projects, and coordinated upgrades so we're not tearing up the same roads twice. Smart infrastructure planning means thinking ahead, protecting taxpayer dollars, and making sure our city keeps pace with the growth in a responsible way.
Thank you. Mr. Martinez, you have a choice of discussing the racial profiling and protecting our civic freedoms, and when people are afraid to go out and shop, or to deal with the priorities of infrastructure improvement and city beautification.
You know, I'm going to try to do a little bit of both. So let's start with this. Back in 2017, the California Values Act, SB 54, was passed, which prohibits local law enforcement from working with federal agents. More recently, the Protect California Rights Act, SB 1105, prevents federal agents from commandeering local police, including sheriffs, from working with federal agents. Just recently, on 9th of February, LA County Federal District Court judge struck down the No Secret Police Act, which the California law would require the unmasking of federal agents. This is something that we have as local city council because we have a limit on what we can do with federal agents. And so the best thing I think that can be done is to continue to provide the resources, the tools, and the monies available to help our undocumented neighbors gain their legal status to remain safe here in the city of Whittier.
Thank you. to Mr. Ahern. The removal of the ficus trees in Uptown Whittier and various areas of the city have generated considerable controversy. How do you propose to address the conflict regarding tree removal along the Greenleaf Promenade? What will you do to create an inclusive community?
I'm sorry, Rick, repeating your question again. Speak a little louder.
How do you propose to address the conflict regarding the tree removal along the Greenleaf Promenade? And what would you do to create a more cooperative and inclusive community?
The situation with the trees is not because the trees are destroying the sidewalks and sewers, which they are, but those are fixable problems. The problem with the trees is the insurance companies have told our city they have to remove them. Amazingly, they also told our city, our tree men, our laws that were passed in our city have to be suspended. So you remove all these trees. It's been mentioned that they just spent a lot of money at one of our premier parks to tear down over 100 trees. It was like $20 million. Won't that money have been better spent to fix the sidewalks for all these trees or other problems? The way our city council chooses to spend our money and the taxes. If they have a problem, they have no problem saying, no, it's out of fee, Prop W, we can't pay the police retirement, and now the banks are full, and they tore down the park. Can't fix sidewalks.
Thank you. Next, Ms. Santana. Give examples for how the city should include climate change mitigation and other environmental issues into economic development plans.
Examples for climate change is making sure, so I work for LA County Parks, and one of the biggest issues with climate change is that we have droughts and a lot of rain, and that impacts our trees. So we need to make sure that our trees are watered so that they don't fall, especially in our parks. So another thing we do is that we monitor the extreme weathers, so we're prepared. So we're prepared and we evacuate our parks if necessary, so no one is in danger if there's high winds. There's also, we need to make sure that when we approve buildings, that they're environmentally sound, that they're taking into account LEED certifications to make sure that we're not creating a bigger footprint when we're building additional communities. And so there's a lot that can be done for a city, and
Okay, thank you. Now we'll move to Mr. Longoria. And Mr. Longoria, would you like to address the ficus tree removal or the climate change mitigation?
I'd like to address the ficus tree, please. I will say this. So over the last several months, as I've been walking door to door, in our city, it is part of our character. People are extreme on both sides. The biggest challenge that I see right now is we need to come together. We spend money on lawsuits, defense, attorneys, and so on. If we can't, as a city council, bring both sides together, then we should use some of that money more intelligently and perhaps hire a federal arbitrator. Bring somebody here that can listen to both sides so that we can respectfully figure out a way to make it work. Because right now, we're nowhere near the center. And the more doors I knock on, the more I hear how divided we truly are. So my biggest thing with them would be finding a way to at least bring us to the table together to try to find strong resolutions and find out how we can handle it. Because again, I'm a big supporter of the trees, but I also want to be honest, there are times that one or two of them may need to be removed. Thank you.
Thank you. We've now asked 4 questions, so I will ask Ms. Macedo, which of those 4 questions would you like to address? And if you need to hear it again, I can read it again.
That's okay, I took notes. I'll take the hard one because I'm a lawyer. I want to say that, environmental mitigation is something that a lot of people don't think affects the local economy, but it really does. So why do people buy houses in Whittier, right? Because of the trees. Why do people like clean streets? Why do they like green space? All that attracts residents that care about the local community. So if we invest in environment infrastructure and mitigate environmental effects on the city, for example, the kind of turf that we have, the pavement, the way that we handle paving, right? The way that we build city buildings. Can we do solar on those city buildings? There's so many creative and innovative ways to mitigate environmental factors that are affecting the city, but also enhance the beauty of our city and our economic growth. I think our current council is not proactive about issues. They're just reactive, right? With the tree thing, we could have been proactive about it and taking care of the issue up front, but now we're fighting our own residents. Thank you.
Which of these four would you choose to answer?
I'm going to take both. I'm going to take the environmental issue and the tree issue. Is that okay?
Okay.
I think I can probably articulate both of my position on both of them. So relative to environmental sustainability, as a builder, I have required that all of my homes that we develop have solar on them as well. I have the same request for the city as well. So the city currently, as part of the UBC code book, we're installing solar panels on all new development projects that are being developed. Also, I think in order to promote green businesses and sustainable practices, I wrote down here, offering incentives for energy efficient projects is very, very important. That's something that we can do and we can move projects forward. Encouraging urban architecture and local food markets to boost economy and enhance food security is important as well. Relative to the trees in the city of Whittier, I'm the one that protected the tree on the very corner of College and Whittier Boulevard, right underneath, above the Jimmy John's, and then the trees over at Whittwood Center. I was responsible for making sure that we protected those trees as well. I think you can do both. I think it's important that you look at our trees as things that we need to support, and also we have an issue relative to how we manage the insurance policies with our trees also. So I think we can do both.
Okay. Now we're going to move on, and for this series, I'm going to begin with Mr. Martinez. We will work our way down to Mr. Dutra and go back to Mr. Cano and Mr. Ramos with a new set of 4 questions. So, Mr. Martinez, items on the City Council's closed session agenda have expanded beyond human resources and litigation to many land use issues, including acquiring and selling city properties outside of public view. What safeguards would you support to balance protecting the city's legal requirements with the public's interest about the city's land use plans?
Okay, let me give you a question. One of the important things to remember, and this is something that you just either accepted or you just say that it's some sort of conspiracy. We have an active city attorney present during closed session meetings and open session meetings to report back.
Can you get closer to the mic, please?
We have a city attorney present during the closed session meetings to monitor our conversations to ensure that what is discussed is within the closed session parameters. In addition, as many of you know, when you come out to the meetings, the mayor or Mayor Pro Tem will ask the city manager, the city attorney, are there any things that need to be reported? So either you trust the city attorney to be an appropriate officer of the court, or you don't. But that is the safeguard, the presence of our city attorney during our closed session conversations.
Thank you. Next, Mr. Ahern. California voters approved the sale and use of cannabis several years ago. Would you support the licensing of cannabis dispensaries in Whittier? And if so, what, if any, limitations should be imposed if you do support dispensaries?
"16 years ago, I quit drinking. There's a liquor store in every corner. Marijuana is legal in California. The 5 stores. This city has decided, through some decisions by the council, especially, that marijuana destroys people and we're going to protect them. The laws here preventing marijuana stores or cannabis, as you said, from opening and reduce our ability to collect a high revenue on taxes. Also deprives the people of their freedom of choice of what to use, whether I drink alcohol, smoke marijuana, smoke cigarettes, drink 7-Up. You should have the freedom to pick. Our city should not be banning these stores. We shouldn't follow them either, but we shouldn't ban them.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Santana, would you like to choose one of these questions?
I'll take the first one.
Okay.
So, this might surprise the current council members, but a significant amount of people do not trust the city council or the guidance that they're being given in closed session. I was an elected official. I sat in many closed sessions. And I made sure that we would report out as much as we could. Attorneys take the lead from the majority of the council. If the majority of the council were to say, we need to make a public statement on something, the attorneys would agree with that. And when I was on the Real Honda board, I did that. I made sure that there was something we could tell the public because I wanted to build trust instead of making people think that we were making secret decisions behind closed doors without their input or knowledge. And that needs to change. We need to go back to being more transparent, not less. If you elect me, that is one thing I will ensure.
Now we will move on to Mr. Longoria. How do you evaluate development proposals that request exemptions or variances to city ordinances, especially regarding environmental impacts to air quality, water capacity, parking, and traffic patterns?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question, please?
How would you evaluate development proposals that request exemptions or variances to city ordinances, especially regarding environmental impacts to air quality, water capacity, parking, and traffic patterns?
I think for me, it has to be part of a public comment and inclusion. We can't just do it as a city council and make these decisions unilaterally without talking to the people that are there. Especially in the city of Whittier, where we have our own water district. We know that there's infrastructure issues with the power grid and other things. When those exemptions come up, we need to make sure to analyze them and see how many people are actually going to help. And before we make a decision on our own, we would need to open it up to get more public comment, allow people to have greater input. And honestly, sometimes we need to go outside of the council to bring in the right experts to make sure that we're making the right decision for our resources and how many people will be affected by those decisions. Thank you.
Now, for Ms. Macedo, there has been an influx of new townhouse construction, but no or very little expansion of green space. Equally needed is rental housing stock available to all income levels. What ideas do you have to increase green space and affordable housing?
One of my top issues is smart growth. And what do I mean by smart growth? All the residents that I've been talking to door have voiced their concerns about the high-rise condos going up that no one can afford. The fact that, the city council at the last meeting approved one affordable unit in the complex going in across from the courthouse, and that we're paying for with grant money. Why do we pay for that? Why not the developer? I believe that we are making the wrong decisions on development of the city, and we're trying to grow the city in a way that is not aligned with what residents want. And we need to stand up to developers. We need to actually voice the concerns of the community and focus on building green space, focus on the amenities that residents actually want. Thank you.
Which would you choose?
I'll take the housing one.
Okay.
So we have something called CEQA in California that governs how projects are developed and how they're reviewed. And so in this city, we take CEQA very seriously. And in addition to that, we also have our own general plan. We also have our own ordinances. And so we require that the developers that come into the city, that they follow the CEQA process, that they follow our ordinances. And to that, I would say that there's something called the RENA numbers as well from Sacramento. It's kind of unfunded mandates, where they're telling us that we have to build 3,800 new homes. If we don't do that, we're going to be penalized. And so the city, I think, is doing a good job in building what I call balanced housing. Balanced housing is what creates a successful society in any city. You have some apartments, you have some townhomes, and you have some condominiums and single-family housing. That's how you build a good, a successful city. That's how you refurbish our schools, by paying those fees. So I would say that I would continue doing what we're doing, which is supporting smart housing.
Thank you. Now we're moving on to Mr. Cano and Mr. Ramos. Mr. Cano, you can choose a new question, or you can choose to answer one before that we've just done.
You know what, let me address the housing issue.
Okay.
How many of you have heard of the RENA numbers, the requirement from the state? Did you know that we met that number already? Right now it's just a money grab. They're selling us out. With those closed session meetings all about real estate, what properties is the city going to acquire? Why aren't they allowing us to build an ADU, bypassing some of that red tape? They focus on high-density developers. They purchase property. Our city is just in the real estate business. We need to do more for our community. How many of you here, look, I know that it's getting a little boring, but in reality, some of you want to expand in your home. You want to add a little something. But the city joined a lawsuit to ensure that you are no longer given that fast track for an ADU in your own home. How are you supposed to make it? How are your kids supposed to buy the next home? We need to start making sense, stop building condominiums with HOAs and start building family homes. That's what you deserve.
Thank you. Mr. Ramos, you can choose a question, or you can take a new one.
I'm going to stick with the housing.
Okay.
When we talk about affordable housing, we need to focus on what we actually control at the city level. We don't control federal housing policies or interest rates, but we do control zoning, local rules, and development happening in our community. As a city council, we can make it easier to build housing in the right area. We can support accessory dwelling units, encourage mixed-use projects, and require a portion of new developments, including affordable units. We can reduce unnecessary delays, fees for projects that provide affordable housing, and be partners of nonprofit organizations that specialize in building housing for families and seniors. The city can look at whether to buy permanently land homes to use in a responsible way to support housing for residents who already live and work here. At the local level, affordable housing is about practical solutions, smart planning, responsible growth, and to make sure we remain accessible to the people that call it home.
I think we have time for one more round of questions, and we'll do it this pick your question style. The first one, and we're moving to I think this time we'll start with Mr. Longoria, go to Ms. Macedo, go to Mr. Dutra, and then we'll go back to District 2. What suggestions do you have for redesigning Whittwood and the Quad and the newly acquired portion of Whittier Boulevard by the 605 freeway to bring in businesses and amenities the Whittier residents want and will patronize?
On that particular topic, once again, I'm going to stress that I think we need a public forum. We need a group of people from within the city who would like to sit on a blue ribbon panel to be able to talk with us and the developers to find out what's needed in our city. As I've been walking door to door over the last several months, there are countless ideas of the businesses and the restaurants and the types of things they'd like to see. The 605 from Whittier, to bring it all the way in now to town, we know it needs to be refaced, needs to be redeveloped. There are certain shops that are there now that people are unhappy with. We need to revisit all of that. But I think for us to be able to do that, we need both sides to come together. We need to look at what other cities are doing. We need to look at what's available to us and how we can make it better for all the residents. Thank you.
Ms. Macedo. What can City of Whittier do to educate residents about the problem of human trafficking and how to prevent it and how to keep our residents safe from this issue?
I've worked on human trafficking policy issues in the past for another city, and I think it's a very difficult problem to solve in a vacuum. You have to have several people working on it at the same time. You need law enforcement to be involved. You need the nonprofits to be involved, advocates to be involved. We need to not have so many massage parlors. We need to make sure that there's a safe place where victims of human trafficking can come and get the help that they need. There are already nonprofits doing this work, but I believe that the city could do more to support their work and get the resources out, because a lot of victims will not come forward. And I've worked on some cases where there are folks who you don't think are being trafficked, but they work at restaurants and they're victims of wage theft, and they're also being trafficked to do that work. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Dutra.
I think education is the number one thing, and the city has a beautiful platform to educate the public on the issues relative to human trafficking. I agree that there are way too many massage parlors in the city. We've discussed this internally and how we can manage the amount of massage parlors that are being developed and being opened. It's something that it's at the top of our list. I know that in other cities that I do business in, that there are other ideas that we could utilize to getting the message out, but also it's enforcement. It's enforcement, and without education, then we're really not allowing the public to take advantage of some of the resources that we have within the city to fix some of these issues relative to the human trafficking. So it's education.
Thank you. Now we'll move to Mr. Cano. And Mr. Cano.
Yes.
How would you address police department staffing to maximize the on-the-street protection Whittier wants and needs and reduce the excessive amount of overtime compensation at time and a half?
All right, guys. I promise you it's almost over, guys. I still have a sticky heads here. But what's happened to District 2? What's happened to Uptown, the largest commercial district in our city? It's in shambles, empty buildings, police officers running back and forth. Santa Fe Springs has a plan with our officers, and they're successful at it. We have the same opportunity, but we don't have the leadership to manage us in that direction to do more. Who remembers dedicated police officers in Uptown having the 3-day festival, redeploying outfits to Uptown and having a great time? Going to the carnival at St. Mary's, just having a great time. Right now, officers are being pulled one way or the other. We have the same number of officers that Santa Fe Springs has. We just lack leadership. We lack philosophy, we lack vision. I'm here to do a lot more for you guys because you should feel safe in your own community. We need to expand on businesses, not close them down, not force them out. We need to do more because we deserve it. Let's protect them.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Ramos, a lot of residents feel that Whittier is stagnant. We see it in the stale uptown environment and old vacant parking lots of rundown empty buildings. There are excessive businesses that are similar. We live in Whittier, but visiting neighboring cities for parks, museums, shops, and restaurants. How will you improve infrastructure, attract more diverse businesses, and make Whittier a place that locals actually want to visit?
So, small businesses are the backbone of Whittier's local economy, especially in Uptown. When small businesses succeed, our community thrives. And as City Council, we need to focus on business retention as much as recruitment. That means improving communication with business owners, identifying challenges early, and addressing barriers before businesses are forced to close. We can streamline permitting process, review fees, and ensure reasonable. Make sure city departments are responsible for solution oriented. We all should also continue to strengthen our community events like farmers market and other activities to bring foot traffic to our commercial districts. So supporting small businesses means protecting local jobs, filling vacant storefronts, and keeping our city vibrant and economically strong.
Thank you. Mr. Martinez, we have now read 4 questions, and you may choose among those questions. So, human trafficking, redeveloping the malls, redeveloping Uptown, and police department staff.
Uptown, touched briefly on both of these. So 4 years ago, I ran on revitalizing the promenade. I was glad that I was one of the votes to bring the new promenade plan into action. Of course, it's been riddled with, I believe, frivolous lawsuits, but we are moving forward. Unless Uptown is revitalized, we're not going to attract a lot of new businesses. There have been some brave and visionary individuals who are opening up coffee shops and other things to make Uptown a beautiful place to shop. But the reality is this: businesses are leaving because they don't have customers. And I think you can do a little bit more on the customer service level to streamline the process. The folks are not leaving the businesses because, we are doing something as a government. The second thing regarding the massage parlors and police, if those things need to be eradicated, I am absolutely for moratorium and increased investigation to hold these individuals committed to these heinous acts accountable.
Thank you. Mr. Ahern, would you like to choose one of these questions?
The revitalizing the hotel,
Okay.
and as you said, police department is very important to safety, citizens, and the community. And we have relatively small police department for 3 shifts, 7 days a week. It's obvious we need more police officers. How many? We have to discuss, or I would have to ask Chief Law. He would best estimate how many we need. As far as Uptown, he needs some help. I've talked to some people, they say such things as simple lighting in the alleys. There's the homeless coming back. And the person suggests you bring some classy stores up there. Not just restaurants you don't get, but like a Pandora or a Portals, a Banana Republic. Bring stores that people can come to. But reopen the street fair. Get foot traffic. Revitalize the streets and sidewalks per se.
Thank you. And Ms. Santana, human trafficking, Whittwood and the Quad, Uptown, or police staff?
I'll do the police staffing for $100. So the police staff staffing, especially an over-reliance on overtime, is very problematic because you get tired of police officers. They have the right to have a life as well. So I worked, with LA County in recruiting police officers who are well-trained, and with your PD gets trained at Ramos College. And so more needs to be done so that we recruit and retain, so that we don't rely so much on overtime. But we need to increase foot patrol in Uptown and on the Greenway Trail. But just as important is response times. It's making sure that our community feels safe, walking their dogs and their kids anywhere in the community, making sure that the people that are speeding down Beverly Boulevard or Beverly Drive, that they get ticketed so that their behavior can change. These are real public safety issues that are affecting District 2, and we really need to start addressing those quality of life issues, not just the bigger issues related to policing, but those everyday things that put our lives at stake in our communities.
Thank you. Now, Delia, can you do 30 seconds? Okay. I have a question that I don't think needs to be beaten to death, but it would be interesting to hear what people's responses are. We will start with Ms. Santana, move to Mr. Cano, come back to Mr. Dutra, and end with Mr. Longoria. If elected, will you support bringing city elections to coincide with the November election?
Absolutely. We need to put this before the voters so that the voters can change the charter and change the election to a general or primary election. In addition, and I know this firsthand, when my election at Ramos went from an off-cycle election to a presidential election, the difference in the number of voters increased significantly, like 100-fold. From 3,000 votes to like 20,000 votes. That is significant. We need to do everything we can to increase voter turnout.
Thank you.
Same question?
Yes, same question. Everybody gets to answer the same question this time.
So first of all, of course, we need alignment. Because while incumbents are running, they're whispering to their buddies, hey, come on and vote. While the rest of us are working hard, we're making money for the city. We deserve an opportunity to plan, to come out, get informed, and be aligned with those elections. We only get an 11% voter turnout. Out of over 90,000 residents, we only get about 8,000. That is a shame. We need more, and when you see the results of not getting involved, of not being informed by our city.
Thank you. Mr. Ramos.
I support aligning municipal elections with regular primary and general elections because it increases voter participation, improves representation, and reduces costs to taxpayers. When more residents are already engaged in voting, our local elections are better, reflect the full diversity in our community. Aligning election calendars make participation easier, more inclusive, and more transparent, and helps ensure local decisions are shaped by many voices as possible.
Thank you. Mr. Martinez?
I would leave it as this for the following reason. When we have elections off cycle, we have reduced the noise, and we as a city, of course, announce the election, we put up banners, we mail out the ballots, we let people know, and you have the simple choice of looking at either a councilperson or a mayor, or just a mayor. I think it's a very clear way and easy way for folks to participate in the vote. The reality is, folks who wish to vote, they're going to. If they do not, they're not voting.
Wow.
Thank you. Mr. Ahern?
As Susan said, if people are to vote, they're going to vote. But if they're not going to vote for a major election, federal election, they will vote in local election. 14 years ago, I ran for office. 2,500 people citywide voted. Mass election, they said, what, 7,000? The one that was connected to the federal election, over 20,000. You want voter participation, or just be run by a small group of people?
Thank you.
Mr. Dutra?
It's a simple answer, absolutely. I think that the more people we get voting, the better. I think it's better for everybody around. I would highly support that. And to me, it's a simple answer, yes.
Kenny, will you introduce the charter change?
Sure, if re-elected, I'll introduce the election.
Thank you.
The motion, I should say.
Okay. And Ms. Macedo?
Yes, I support changing our election. I think the more people that are aware about our elections, the better. There are so many people that I've talked to, residents in the district, that don't know we have an election. If you look at my materials, all my materials have the date because people don't know. And I think a lot of times we blame the voters. I blame the city. There should be more outreach, there should be more education, there should be a real concerted effort to get the vote out, and that includes changing the date. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Longoria?
Yes, I would absolutely agree that we need to move it. I think for the residents and the number of people who've spoken to door, it's too confusing. And they feel disenfranchised, they feel left out, they feel that there's something more conspiracy driven behind it. I think if we make it easier for people to participate, we'll get a greater turnout, and the more people we can involve, I think the better the decisions we'll make as a community. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we have reached the end of the time allotted for this forum, and we will close with closing statements from each of the candidates, and we will do it in reverse order. So we will start with Mr. Dutra and work our way all the way down to Mr. Cano.
Margot, 1 minute?
1 minute. Thank you.
Sure. So, Margot and everyone here, thank you very much for being here with us this evening. I want to thank my teammates here, my opponents, and everybody sitting here for the work that they've done, walking the city and bringing some of these issues to life. I appreciate the work they've done, including everyone here in the community for being here this evening. I have served the city of Whittier for 26 years, and I think that the city of Whittier is a great city to live in still. That's the reason why we all live here. We have the choices to live here or not live here, and so we choose to live here because I think the city is still one of the top cities to live in Southern California. If elected, I will continue working hard for the people of the city of Whittier. I've been elected by all 88 cities in LA County to the Metro Board, as well as to the COG. At the COG, I created the Land Development Land Trust to create more affordable housing. I wouldn't have been able to do that for our region unless you would have elected me to the city council. And so if elected, I'll continue doing the work that I've been doing, not only to benefit the city, but to benefit the entire region. Thank you.
And Aida Macedo.
Thank you so much to the organizers for putting this together. I want to ask for your vote and your support by April 14th. I believe that I bring the passion and the grit to be your representative to speak for residents. I don't believe my opponents have the residents' interests at heart. And because I have a young family that I'm raising here in Whittier, I believe that we have the power to really continue building Whittier forward and make a city that is for everyone. I promise to be genuine, honest, and listen to your concerns. Even if I don't agree with you, I will always have an open door policy and always be in the community and hold town halls. So I ask for your vote, and thank you so much for being here today.
Mr. Phil Longoria.
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting the event this evening. I also want to thank everybody up here on the panel. For those of you that are new to this, like me, walking door to door hasn't been easy. We've learned a lot about the city, we've heard a lot of things, and there's been things said about us online and others, so it takes a thick skin to be up here. I believe that I can deliver to our district what we need. We need to be listened to, we need to be heard, we need to come together, we need to be one community, one voice. I will say that my opponent, who hasn't spent 17 years volunteering in the community, has no clue what this city and this district really needs. I do. I live it every day. The other thing I would say is, right now we're in an election cycle. So how convenient. We've got so many projects that are being worked on right now. Streets, trails, light, other things that are happening. Why are they happening now? Because the election is a month away. So if you vote for me, I will make sure that we look at these issues sooner, and I won't wait to do moratoriums on massage shops and car washes. Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Vicky Santana.
Thank you to the Whittier, the Women's League of Voters for hosting this event. Whittier is a city residents care deeply about, and during this campaign, I've heard the same thing again and again. People want solutions. When a request like a speed bump to slow down speeding can't be approved, they expect a reasonable alternative. When concerns are raised, they want to feel heard and taken seriously. We can support businesses, improve safety, preserve what makes our neighborhoods livable, and make decisions openly so residents understand how and why they are made. Good leadership means solving problems early so that they don't become burdens later, and being honest and responsible when difficult decisions need to be made. Residents should first learn about major decisions at the council meetings. They should understand what's being considered, why it matters, and what options exist before a vote, not after implementation. That's the leadership I will bring, competency and transparency, so residents know their city works for them. I respectfully ask for your vote.
Thank you. Mr. Brian Ahern.
I want to thank you all for coming and allowing me to speak in front of you and inviting me here. I've been here 16 years, well, going on 20. I stopped drinking 16 years ago. And I came to this is where I live. I didn't plan to move here. I didn't think it would be the trees, the political environment. It's just where it came through. Funny thing is, later on I learned that the man this town is named after is the same town my mom grew up in Massachusetts. It's the only connection I have with Whittier as far as that went. In 16 years, I've been in council meetings and I've talked to people. And I've seen our council treat the public like objects. Not the power behind them, but the objects removed by them. And charged for it. Overtaxed, overfeed, overrate increase because they want a project.
Thank you. Next, we will hear from Octavio Martinez.
I'm a 40-plus year resident of the city of Whittier. I've worked for public safety on a number of issues. I've served as on the commission, the arts. I've been a chaplain, I've been a former pastor. I've worked with special needs adults, all this in Whittier. I supported and helped pass SB 759, improving the safety not just of Whittier, but the entire California. I also worked behind the scenes to whip up support and make sure that Prop 36, which was not funded, passed to make sure that we close the loophole of former Prop 47. I am working to make sure that Whittier is a city that can be educated in, be entertained in, and also be employed in. And if you re-elect me, I will continue to work on the projects to make Whittier a private city in Southern California.
Thank you. And now we'll hear from Renee Ramos.
Whittier has been my home for the last 50 years. I'm a product of our local schools. This is where I grew up, where my wife and I met, where we raised our children, where we built our lives. This campaign isn't powered by big money or outside interests. It's powered by family and neighbors. My wife serves as our campaign manager, our children are our consultants. And the backbone of this campaign is the people of Whittier who want one of their own representing them. We are not relying on high-funded operations to carry us forward. We are relying on this community, the families, the small business owners, seniors, and young parents who care deeply about the city's future. I'm running because I love Whittier. I believe in our neighborhoods, and I'm ready to serve with integrity, transparency, and heart. I humbly ask for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, we'll hear from Rolando Cano.
Mi nombre es Rolando Cano y si votan por mí seguiré protegiendo a mi comunidad contra ICE. My name is Rolando Cano, and if you vote for me, I will continue to protect my community from ICE. I know we've heard a lot of issues here. and there's a lot to address. But let me paint you a picture of what I intend on doing. I want to do a farmer's market on that trail with lighting, just for you. I want to make sure that we have Whittier Boulevard does not become the next developments. We want to turn them into businesses so that you can park anywhere on Whittier Boulevard, walk down and enjoy specialty shops, library hubs, and museums. We need to be able to walk and experience something beautiful. What other cities have, we have it, but we need to do more. Our leadership has failed. They don't show up. My opponent has done nothing for this community. We see it. But for you, we need to do more. I want to do an outdoor rotary for our community off of Palm Park because we deserve it. We need to share positive moments with our kids, and we need to do more as a community. Please vote for Whittier Cano on April 14th.
Thank you. I would like to thank all these candidates for stepping forward and putting themselves on the line to help make City of Whittier a better place that will serve all its residents. And I would like also like to thank the City of Whittier for doing all the setup and making sure that we had a large enough space and a safe space in which to hold this forum, and for providing the IT, the audio, and the taping so that this forum will be available on YouTube and Channel 3 after this event. In addition, I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters staff and the AEW people who came here and helped make this event a success. And lastly, I would like to encourage all of you to take your civic responsibility, not only to vote your own ballot, but to talk to other people about what you've learned and to encourage your friends and neighbors to also vote in this election. Remember, the polls are open from April 11th to April 14th at 4 locations. They are on the city website, and they were in the Daily News. And your ballot will come March 16th. You can contemplate it, decide what you want to do, mark your ballot, take it to a drop box, mail it, or take it to a vote center to deposit it. Exercise your civic responsibility and be a part of this community. Thank you very much.